What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham Jaxs and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network. And today we're talking the December 7th, 2020 edition of Raw Talk. As always, being hosted by Charlie Caruso and R-Truth. And I think this episode even more, and I know I say this every week, but I think this episode more than any other that I've seen, at least in recent memory, just drove home the fact how much superior Talking Smack is to Raw Talk. Raw Talk is not a terrible show, but R-Truth, I hate to sound like a broken record, I hate to beat it down like a dead horse, but it's so, like, he does the comedy and stuff, and it's funny the first time or two, but he does it at the most, like, inappropriate times when he shouldn't. Like, for example, when they first welcome on the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, he asks him about being Benjamin Button, and it's like, okay, honestly, it was a little clever of a joke, but, like, Benjamin and Alexander are supposed to be serious, and it's just not the right time to be doing that type of stuff. Same thing with Shayna and Nia, and I could not care less about that duo. I could not care less about Nia, but I thought Nia was honestly on point on this entire episode. This was one of the better Lana, or rather, Nia promos, segments, performances, whatever, I have actually ever seen, at least in the last couple of months or whatever. And Truth was trying to be funny, and it just doesn't work. It's not a great dynamic. Caruso, it feels like she tries too hard, and she's not the only one where this is an issue with, but she asks dumb questions that we already know the answer to, and I think we're all guilty of that as interviewers and whatnot, but specifically on the WWE shows. Kayla, not so much. I feel like Kayla comes across as more genuine with what she says than Charlie does. I feel like almost everything Charlie says is either scripted or forced or just not genuine. So I don't love the show. I don't love the dynamic that she and Truth have. I thought she and Samoa Joe were just way better in almost every way. Joe could be serious. He could be entertaining. He drove the point home. He was insightful. Truth, as much as I love the guy, is none of those things when it comes to the host role. This is just not a great fit for him. So they kick off the show recapping the ending of Raw, which saw Randy Orton taking on Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray Wyatt. And this is what I'm talking about. So Charlie goes, I can't even fall asleep at night without thinking of that scary mask of the Fiend. I mean, what a dumb fucking thing to say. What is this, Disney Channel? I thought that was really a really stupid thing to say. So like I said, they welcome on Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander of the Hurt Business. That's when Truth asks him, how do you age backwards as Benjamin Button? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay. Kind of clever, but really stupid. But anyway, so Caruso's not really sure who won between the New Day and the Hurt Business on Raw, as Kofi first beat Shelton, and then Cedric got in there and beat Kofi. So she's like, I'm not really sure who won tonight. And the Hurt Business completely shut her down and are like, who had their hand raised at the end of the night? It was us. Cedric beat Kofi. He had the last laugh. We were the last people standing. Therefore, we won at the end of the night. And Alexander, as he should, boasts about beating a former WWE champion. And I guess it doesn't really mean much considering that Kofi's been a tag team player since he dropped the WWE title over a year ago. But it still meant something, I would think, just a little bit, for him to beat a former WWE champion in Kofi. He beat Xavier Woods last week to beat Kofi. Although he just went through a match with Shelton, I thought was pretty impressive. So I'm glad he brought that up. And again, Charlie asks a dumb question. Do you guys deserve a tag title shot? No shit, they deserve a tag title shot. I mean, Cedric just beat Xavier. He then beat Kofi Kingston. Yeah, they haven't beaten New Day in 2-on-2 action. I think actually they did 3 weeks ago. They did before they had the tag title match before Survivor Series, so I actually take that back. But no shit, they deserve another tag team title shot, and I assume they're going to get it at TLC. And then they reiterate that Shelton and Cedric, they're in the hurt business. Not just the group, but they're in the business of hurting people. And that's exactly what they're going to do to New Day or Truth, whoever gets in their way. So then they welcome on Nia and Shayna. And I had my hopes real low just because any segment, and I like Shayna, but the stuff with Nia has just completely turned me off on Shayna Baszler. It's just been completely terrible. Shayna lost to Asuka last night in a complete afterthought of a match. A match that once would have meant something, as the two most dominant NXT women's champions of all time have been reduced to absolutely nothing on the main roster. And yes, Shayna is one half of the tag team champions. Asuka is the Raw women's champion. What the fuck does that even mean, though? Asuka's a complete loser right now. Yeah, she's won the last couple of weeks. She won last week. She won the week before that. She won this week. in matches that mean absolutely nothing. The focal point is clearly on Lana, and it just is not working. And Shayna's even worse off than Asuka. Shayna has never felt any less special than she does right now. So anyway, this is when Charlie brings up, at least my boobs are on the front or something like that. It was a joke from Raw where I think Nia, before Shayna went out for her match against Asuka, she made a joke that when they're done with Lana, after they're done beating her up at TLC or whatever, because it's going to be Shayna and Nia versus Asuka and Lana for the WWE Women's Tag Team titles at TLC. She said, when we're done with her, her boobs are going to be on her back, or something incredibly stupid like that. And maybe it was designed to get people talking and like, why would she say that? That's so stupid. I don't know, but Charlie reiterated that here. It was really, really stupid and not funny. So then Shayna says, yeah, I lost tonight, but I lost to the Raw Women's Champion, so that's got to mean something. And the answer is that it doesn't, because Shayna loses so fucking often. She got pinned by goddamn Lana last week. I mean, does that really mean anything? It's not like she put in this great effort. I remember nothing about the match. Absolutely nothing. It was a complete fucking afterthought. In truth, that's when he says that Lana is on a streak right now. She won at Survivor Series, they've beaten the Tag Team Champions 2 weeks in a row. She's on a streak. So that's when they preview Lana versus Nia Jax one-on-one next week. And they also take shots at Charlie Caruso's shirt, because I guess she's like, I mean, it's part of her outfit, but she has like one sleeve on, and then like the other half, there's no sleeve there. It's like half a shirt. So they were dissing her and saying that she only bought half a shirt. Where'd the other half of her shirt go? When I thought that was funny. But anyway, so Nia's like, I want to speak to a manager, clearly making a Karen joke, and Charlie just has to say, what is your name, Karen? You want to speak to the manager? No fucking shit, that's what she was talking about. I mean, why else would she say, can I speak to a manager, unless she was making a Karen joke? Charlie has to just hammer it home and say, that must make you a Karen. Again, no shit. So Shayna says, this was honestly the best part about it. Everything that kind of came before this, who gives a fuck? This I thought was great. So Shayna goes, Lana's so good on TikTok, she's so good on Instagram. When did it become a requirement, Shayna says, to be good on social media to be a pro wrestler? The answer is that it never has. It's never been a requirement, and Charlie agrees with that. But Shayna feels that Lana is way too focused on Instagram and TikTok and MySpace and whatever the fuck else social media platform that she's on. She's become way too obsessed with that stuff, and she's talking way too much about, I train hard, I work hard. No shit, Nia says everyone works hard. And listen, I've never liked Nia Jax. I just think she's not good in the ring. I don't think she's good on the mic. She's just all around an abysmal performer. But this was probably one of the most truthful and genuine things she has ever said. I don't know if she actually feels this way. It sounded like it was this was a fucking shoot. And I'm probably wrong, but even coming across that way, it sounded real, and that's why I like this, and it was easily the best part of this entire episode, which is something I never thought I would say for something involving Nia Jax. But she goes, everyone works hard. I'm sick of Lana. I'm sick of her going on Instagram and TikTok and whatever the fuck, tweeting about how hard she works, and just because you got a chronicle and we didn't, although Shayna did earlier this year, we don't have to brag about working hard. Everybody works hard. And listen, I don't like Nia Jax, I just said that. But she works hard, everyone works hard. So Lana out there, Dana Brooke does the exact same fucking thing. I work hard, everyone works fucking hard. I mean, I hate that excuse, like, I should get an opportunity because I work hard. All of these women work hard. You should get opportunities based on how good you are. Lana is not good. Dana Brooke is not good. Why are they winning on Raw? I don't like Nia Jax. She's not good either, but at least Shayna is really, really good. Asuka is really, really good. Peyton Royce, where the hell is she? She's a lot better than Lana or Nia or Dana Brooke or women like that, at least in my opinion. And Shayna also, to kind of close it out, said that she is sick of how things are run currently in WWE. And come TLC, they're putting Lana down, they're putting her, I was going to say put her through a table, and they probably will, but it is weird how they have yet to announce it as a tables match. That's the only fucking stipulation that would make sense. How do you do two tag team matches on Raw that are normal matches and then not have the third match be a tables match at a pay-per-view called TLC, where we get tables matches that mean nothing every single year? I mean, it's got to be a tables match. If it's not, this company, I don't know what they're doing. So the last guest they have on is Drew McIntyre, and technically Sheamus ran on out. McIntyre says that wasn't the first time that he and Sheamus have fought. It won't be the last time. He knew that Sheamus hit him by accident. And this makes absolutely no sense. I love Drew, but I feel like they told him to say this, where they were trying to make sense of the fact where, like, Drew was clearly pissed at Sheamus. Maybe he was pissed at the fact that he lost and he took his anger out on Sheamus. If that was me, I mean, Sheamus is like, or Drew McIntyre said, oh, we're brothers and we fight. Well, obviously, but like not literally brothers, but like, hey, if I knew someone that accidentally screwed me over, I wouldn't beat them up because even though I knew it was an accident. That makes absolutely no sense. Maybe yell at the guy, but beating the shit out of him for no reason makes zero sense. So then Sheamus shows up. He adds in how McIntyre recently celebrated his 4-year anniversary. Congrats to him. He also brings up how, oh, that was a sweet bro kick that I hate you with. And McIntyre's like, oh, well, my Claymore is better. And also, by the way, who is the WWE champion? That would be me. So I thought that was funny. Sheamus took up a lot of the time here, so we don't really get a lot of McIntyre on his own. The only thing he really says is that he has waited to face AJ Styles for a very long time now. And it's a shame that this match is being overshadowed with the whole, and I love the Sheamus storyline, but like, it's being overshadowed by that, the Miz cash-in shit. You know, even AJ Styles' bodyguard, I feel like the real focus should be on the fact that we are getting Drew McIntyre versus AJ Styles for the first time ever. That's a really big fucking deal. That's a huge deal. So I'm very surprised that they're not making a bigger deal about that. In any company, by the way, not just in WWE or, you know, they did it in NXT, not on the main roster. They've never done it anywhere, as far as I'm concerned. And McIntyre says that same thing here. He says that he has wanted to face AJ Styles since he was 16 years old. And AJ, I guess, he said, has, you know, he's a couple years older. I'm not sure how much older than Drew. Drew might be 36, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know. He might be actually a lot younger than that, 34. AJ is like 42, I'm pretty sure. So if McIntyre was 16, then AJ would have been 24. By that point, he was probably in TNA. That's probably what he was talking about. But they always passed like ships in the night, McIntyre said. When they were outside of WWE, specifically from the time that McIntyre was fired in 2014 up until early 2016 when AJ was, when he debuted in WWE, AJ left TNA in early 2014. McIntyre showed up in TNA in 2015, and he was there that entire time before he came back to WWE. They never faced off anywhere else. They were in no other promotions together, so they never had a chance to have that match until now, until come TLC. Never faced each other in NXT. And even on the main roster, McIntyre and AJ were on the same show last year when AJ got drafted over to the Raw roster. But he turned heel, they never did the match, and then coming out of WrestleMania this year, McIntyre's a babyface. They almost did the match. They almost did the match actually at the onset of 2020. It was McIntyre, Orton, and AJ in a triple threat. They never did McIntyre and AJ one-on-one. And I think McIntyre won that match by pinning AJ, if I'm not mistaken. So then coming out of WrestleMania, I'm thinking, okay, McIntyre and AJ is a logical match to do. And then AJ goes back to SmackDown for a couple of months. So we never got that match. We're finally getting it now. He feels like AJ's been ducking him. But come TLC, he will retain that title as he promises to. And then Truth asked him about the dumb sword to close out the show. So not a very good episode. I thought McIntyre's segment was, it was fun, but nothing really newsworthy came out of it due to the Sheamus stuff. Honestly, like I said, that Nia Shayna-esque shoot I thought was really, really good. Really, really good stuff, and honestly, my favorite part of the episode, which is, again, something I never thought I would say about a Nia Jax promo, but I thought that was great, the way they were just kind of telling the truth about Lana. I mean, there's no real reason to root for Lana here. I mean, they're completely hitting the nail on the head. And then the Her Business stuff was good, but nothing out of the ordinary, so kind of a mediocre episode of Raw Talk, but then again, nothing new for this show. Be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content, including hitting that bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. Check out all my other Raw Talk reviews right here on the channel in the description box down below, and we'll be back tomorrow with a all-new episode of #AskGSM, so stay tuned for that as well, including an exclusive interview, which I've yet to announce. That's going to be coming up here on the channel, I believe on Friday. So check that out coming up on Friday, in addition to the latest Uncool with Alexa Bliss episode review that's going up on Friday as well. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.